Hi friends! Welcome to Sarah's Stitchery. My name is Sarah and this is my Flosstube channel where I talk all about my cross stitch journey. Today's date is March 24th, 2024 and this is Flosstube episode number 8. First of all, I always like to thank my returning viewers and subscribers. I appreciate your support, your comments, your likes, your follows on Instagram. That means a lot to me. If you are looking for me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is different than my channel name. Here on YouTube, I'm Sarah Stitchery, but on Instagram, you can find me at Stitche Sarah with an H reads, all one word. And I always have that linked below too. So I would love for you to connect with me on Instagram as well as leave me comments here. That means a lot to me. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time to check out my channel. I hope you like it here and I hope that you will consider subscribing and liking my video. So let's go ahead and get started. I always start off with a little bit of a personal update. So first of all, I'm on spring break. I'm a 4th grade teacher. My husband is a high school teacher. He and I are in different school districts. Usually our spring breaks do not coincide, but lo and behold, this year they did. And we don't have any big plans. My husband just got back in town about an hour ago. He was out of town at a sporting event with some of his buddies. And so he just got back. He's going to be, I'm sure, taking the rest of the day today to recuperate from his travels. And we just plan on hanging around the house, relaxing. I'm sure we'll do some cleaning, that kind of stuff. But mostly just hanging out and relaxing. We have 2 wonderful little doggies. They're not here with me today. They are having way too much fun staring out the window and barking at people passing by. So you'll probably hear them barking at some point. Usually they're in here in the craft room with me, but they just didn't want to be in here today. There's too much to see outside. Now that it's starting to get a little bit warmer, it's not very warm, but now that spring is officially here, there are more people like taking walks in the neighborhood and stuff. And so they have to be at the window to patrol that. Just plan on hanging out with my doggies, trying to take them for some walks. Hopefully it warms up a little bit. My son lives with me still. So I have 3 adult children. My 2 daughters don't live at home anymore, but my son, he's 20. He lives here. He commutes to a local college and has a job, but he's on spring break too this week. So we're all just going to be hanging out. It's going to be fun. I did recently go on a little bit of a retreat. So last weekend, I joined 9 of my Stitchy friends in Columbus, Ohio. For reference, I live north of Cincinnati, Ohio, about an hour and a half away from Columbus. But myself and 9 of my Stitchy friends decided a while back that we needed to have our own retreat. And so we decided to rent an Airbnb in Columbus. We chose Columbus because that was like the most central location for everyone involved. Fortunately for me, it was pretty close, but some of my friends had to travel pretty far. And we just made our own retreat. Like I said, we rented this Airbnb, beautiful big house in Columbus, about a few minutes away from a local cross-stitch store called Cross My Heart and all kinds of restaurants and stuff. And we just had a lovely time just lounging at the house, stitching, talking, eating. It was just so much fun. And in true retreat fashion, we had a smalls exchange, but our smalls exchange, instead of being like random, like it would be at a normal retreat, we actually exchanged names. And it was so like you knew whose name you had gotten, who you were going to make for, but you did not know who had your name. In fact, I was the only person who knew any of that because I was the one who coordinated it. But the fun thing is, like, I coordinated it so many months ago that I forgot who had who. So it was all like a surprise to me when we were there. So it was really fun. We took turns giving our friends our gifts, and seeing their reactions was just priceless because, like, you know, I've done smalls exchanges before, like at StitchCon, and that's a lot of fun. And then like finding the person who made your smalls, is a lot of fun, and you know, hearing like why they chose that pattern and stuff, but like having a smalls exchange where someone made something for you in particular, that meant so much. So I'll talk about the one that I made first. So like obviously I don't have it here to show you. If I feel like editing, I'll put a picture in here. No promises because I hate editing, but if I don't put a picture in here, definitely go check out my Instagram because I did put pictures there. So I'll show you the pattern though. So I chose this pattern from the, what is this? This is from the October 2023 edition of Just Cross Stitch. And this is a chart by the Blue Flower called Starry Moth. And I chose this for my friend Maggie. So I got my friend Maggie's name. She is Maggie with an I on Instagram. And I chose that for her because she and I love the Blue Flower. We've stitched quite a few Blue Flower charts together, and I was hoping that was one she had not stitched yet. Luckily for me, she had not gotten to it yet. And I did my own color conversion because I wanted the colors to mean something to me and to Maggie. And so like I remember the first time I met Maggie in person a couple of years ago at a retreat. She had purple hair. And I just loved her purple hair, and because her personality is just so, her personality is just as vibrant as her purple hair was. And so when I think of Maggie, I think of purple. I think of that purple hair that I saw when I met her for the first time. And so I did the chart in various colors of purples, and I had a lot of fun choosing the colors for her. And fortunately, she loved my color conversion, and she really enjoyed it. So I mounted it on top of a wooden trinket box from Chantel's 141 design. And like there are stars, here we go. So there are like stars stitched on here. I decided I didn't want to stitch the stars on there. I had these little tiny star buttons that I sewed on. It turned out adorable. I think so. And so I gave her the box with the stitching on it and some little doodads inside. Got her some scissors that kind of went with the color theme, and some stickers and some black pony needles and a moth needle minder. So I just had so much fun choosing all of those little gifts for her and stitching that with her in mind. So I really enjoyed doing that kind of smalls exchange. And in return, I also received an amazing smalls exchange. So my friend Allison, AllieCat13 on Instagram, she got my name, and let me show you what she made me. Brace yourself. Actually, you probably saw this on my cover photo because I took a picture especially for my cover photo. Look at this, first of all. So this nutcracker is a stand-up. She made this for me because I collect nutcrackers, and I have a pretty extensive collection that I get out for the holidays. And this little guy is just going to fit right in. So I just need to like kind of go through the details. So her stitches are just impeccable. First of all, she's got some metallic stitching in there. There's lots of metallic. She's got this fuzzy, I don't even know what this stuff is called. I've never stitched with this before. I can't imagine it's fun to stitch with that, but the effect is amazing. So this fuzzy, sparkly white floss for his hair. There's some beading in here. These little buttons are beads. He's got a sword. A sword. He's got a sword. This little chain on his hat. Got the gold cording up here at the top of his hat, and then there's like wool felt at the top. There is so much detail, and like his eyes, and yeah, his eyes are stitched over one. You probably can't even see that, but just the detail that went into this, and then the finishing. I mean, my hand's not quite flat, but there you go. He stands up and he is amazing. I was flabbergasted when I opened this. That could not have been easy to do. And so the fact that Allison took the time to find something that she knew would be meaningful to me, and the time to make such an intricate finish was just meant so much to me. So thank you, Allison. I love him. I love him. So he's going to be, I'm not even putting him away till Christmas. He's going to go on my bookshelf. So he stays out all year. He's the only nutcracker who could stay out all year. And I've been dying to put him on my bookshelf, but he's been waiting here in my craft room so I could show you first. In my gift, she also gave me some Kathy Barrick Christmas like tags that you can use to put on your finished pieces. So it says like made especially for blank by blank on the occasion of blank. So that would be really nice to include, maybe like on the back of like a framed piece that you give as a gift to somebody. So these are really, really sweet. She gave me that. She gave me some fabric, some fat quarters of fabric, you know, for finishing. I think this one's so pretty. So that's nice because she knows I like to make a lot of like little pillows. So that'll be great for finishing. And then she gave me these beautiful Kelmscott design Tudor Rose scissors. So thank you, Allison. I love, love, love my gift. So, so yeah, like I said, that's what we did. That's one of the fun things we did at our retreat. We had a smalls exchange. We did a whip parade. Everybody showed off all the things that they brought to stitch on. It was just an amazing time. I have not posted any pictures yet to my Instagram, but hopefully by the time you see this, I will have posted some pictures because it was just an amazing time. I went, like I said, I went with 9 of my friends. 2 of my friends are Flosstubers, so make sure you check them out. One of my friends is Allie Z. She has a Flosstube called Allie Z is Crafty. I will link her below. And then my other friend, Sally, has a brand new Flosstube channel. Her channel is called Sally Stitches and ... Because my friend Sally is a multi-crafter. She's a collector of glass and antique things. And so she kind of wanted to keep that a little open-ended, but she explains that in her video. But not only was I there with Allie and Sally, I was there with my friends, like I said, Maggie with an I, Alley Cat 13. My friend Jen was there. I was there with Susan, who is good friends with Maggie. They live in Washington, D.C. I was there with my friend Lynn, and my friends Erica and her sister Holly were there. Please tell me I'm not forgetting anybody. Just thinking to myself, I believe that was all of us. I sincerely apologize if I forgot somebody, but I don't think I did. But it was just an amazing time. If you ever get a chance to get together with some of your stitchy friends and do something like that, I would highly, highly recommend it. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about a couple of stitch-alongs that I'm hosting. Let's do that first, and then we'll talk about my whips. That kind of leads into my whips anyways. The first stitch-along that I want to talk about, I've talked about this in my last couple of videos, is my friend Allison from AZ Family Zoo. She's also Mrs. AZ Family Zoo on Instagram. She and I are hosting a bunny Parade SAL, and we have been stitching these bunnies from Leela's studio. And there's two patterns here. We've got Spring Parade Set 1 and Spring Parade Set 2. I showed my finish last time of the Carrot Car bunny, and Allison, I believe, just finished the Strawberry bunny. And so many people joined us for this. So many people are still stitching, which is awesome because it's still bunny season. And so I've had so much fun seeing all of the posts. I appreciate everybody who showed their progress and tagged me so that I could repost in my stories. And just seeing the variety of different colors and fabric colors, floss colors, finishing, the different ways people finished. I saw one person did hers all in a row on the same piece of fabric like they were in like an actual parade, which was really cool. One that I saw recently, the person stitched little pillows, but they were all in different color fabrics, which was amazing. Just so many fun finishes and different displays and ways people have displayed them has been really fun to see. So it is not too late to join. It's never too late to join. In fact, I stitch one of these every year. So now I've got 3 in my dough bowl, like I said, which I showed in my last video. But if you do want to join in, our hashtag is hashtag Bunny Parade SAL 2024. And if you're new to the cross stitch community, the acronym SAL, S-A-L, stands for Stitch Along. So love for you to join us and stitch some bunnies. Oh, and I almost forgot. Leela's Studio, this designer, she just released a freebie pattern with a different bunny and he's riding on a chicken. Go to her website, go to her Instagram and check that out. I will link her below, Leela's Studio. Go get your chicken bunny. Maybe it's a rooster. But yeah, go get your chicken bunny. Freebie. I definitely want to stitch that, so I'm going to print it up. I don't know that I'll stitch it this spring, but definitely next year. So there's that SAL. And my next stitch along that I'm hosting is Hands-On Design Spring Folk. In fact, hold up, let me stop. I've got my Hands-On Design shirt. I just got this in the mail. Hashtag Stitch Some Happy. And on the back, I don't know if I could show you, my hair's in the way. Hands-On Design. I just got this from the Hands-On Design website. It's very nice t-shirt. Very comfortable, just simple. I love the simplicity. Stitch Some Happy. Love it. You can get that on her website, Hands-On Design. But I am hosting a stitch along for her new Spring Folk design. Oh shoot, I left my paddle downstairs. I showed it in my last video. I'll pull it out the next time. But I already have the finishing paddle because I stitched the autumn one back in September for Chantel's 141 design retreat for the pep rally. And Kathy, Hands-On Design, was the guest designer for that retreat. And so we got to stitch the autumn one, which will be coming out, I'm sure, closer to the fall. So you will get to stitch that as well if you would like. But all 4 of the seasonal designs, so this is spring, there's going to be summer, fall, winter. All 4 of the designs are fully finished on this folk paddle from Chantel's 141 Design Company. And you can get that directly from Chantel. I know other shops are carrying the paddle as well. So it's called Folk Paddle. When you get it, it is unfinished wood, but it does have that like quilt design like already burned into it. And all you need to do is stain it. I'm almost positive that the stain that Chantel uses on this board is Minwax in the color Jacobian. In fact, I'm positive of that. And so, but you can stain it any color you like, or paint it, or finish it however you like. And you can use it for all 4 seasons by attaching the designs with magnets. So actually, Kathy from Hands-On Design just put out a tutorial video for this because this design has some specialty stitches in it. In fact, all 4 of the seasonal designs will have some specialty stitches. I'll try to go in a little bit closer there. Got some specialty stitches up here and some specialty stitches in this band here, and then some down here. I did have a question last time. Are the specialty stitches Ada friendly? The answer is yes. Yes, they are. And Kathy, I think, does have some adaptations for Ada stitchers to make those stitches easier to do on Ada, which she shows in her tutorial that she just posted this past week. And she also has instructions for within the chart itself. So no worries, whether you're a linen stitcher or an Ada stitcher, this chart is for everybody. The colors are just adorable. These are all DMC colors. And you also need this DMC size 12 pearl cotton in the color 642 for those specialty stitches that I showed you. Let me show you my progress so far. So I'm stitching this on the called for linen 32 count driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie. And that's what I've got so far. So I started in the center and kind of moved down, and I got those little bunnies in there. They are so cute. I do like how this design is kind of stitched in bands. So it's like you can kind of tackle it a section at a time. There are some back stitch details in there that I have not added. So I've only done cross stitch. I usually like to go back and add any back stitch when I'm finished with all of the cross stitch. So you'll notice like my flowers don't have stems. My bunnies don't have whiskers yet, but they will. They will when I go back and do my back stitching. So anyway, like I mentioned, I am hosting a stitch along, and I would love for you to join me. I know some people are still getting their charts, their supplies. There's no rush. There's no rush. I know I've started already, but we're not on a schedule here. It is a join in whenever you are ready and stitch with me, kind of stitch along. So I'm using a hashtag. My hashtag is hashtag HOD Spring Folk SAL. I will put that below. And I would love for you to post your progress on Instagram and tag me, tag Kathy. When you do your finish, tag Chantel, and use the hashtag so we can see your progress. And we do like to repost that to our stories so we can share it out with everybody and see your lovely progress. In fact, I saw one of the SAL participants already finished. She already fully finished and everything. It's amazing looking. But like I said, there is no rush. It is a join in with me and stitch whenever you want and finish whenever you want. And when we're done, we're all going to have a lovely finished piece, a seasonal finished piece. So yes, I'm excited about that. I can't wait to stitch some more because this color palette is just adorable, just adorable. So that is actually my first whip. So leading right into whips, that's my first whip. I've been working on that a little bit, and I can't wait to work on it a little bit more. I'm not in any rush. I'm just enjoying the stitch as it goes along, and enjoying seeing, you know, everybody getting started, getting their materials together and putting those first stitches in. All right, let's talk about what else I've been stitching. So this next one is a new start. This is actually another Nashville Market release. It's from Teresa Kogut. It is called Wherever There Are Birds. I love this so much. So I am stitching this on the called for fabric. The called for fabric is one of my favorite fabrics. It's from XU Design. It's in the color Grandpa's Sleeve. It is perfection. Look at this. Look at it. I feel like mine definitely has more modeling than the picture, but I'm digging it. I'm loving it. I love Grandpa's Sleeve. It's so dirty and just dirty looking. It's dirty looking, but it's awesome. And XU Design is one of my favorite fabric dyers. So I am using all the called for Fancy Floss and DMC. Some of the Fancy Floss I didn't have in stash, so I'm just using the DMC equivalent, so I'm not changing any colors. And that's where I've got so far. Wherever there are birds. It says, wherever there are birds, there is hope. And I just love that bird with the berry in his mouth and the berry bowls there. It's just so fun. So I can't wait to get back to him. It's a great fabric, great pattern, and it's Teresa Kogut. You can't go wrong with a Teresa Kogut. You can't go wrong with any of these designers that I have, really. I mean, there are so many good designs and designers out there, so little time. Hopefully you don't mind me taking a moment just to put it back into my case here so that I don't lose anything. I am keeping this in a little stitch case that I got from Winding Rainbows. I know I showed it a little while back, but here it is again. Very cute. All right, next, I worked on this just a little bit when I was at my friend retreat, but I always love showing it because it is gorgeous. It is called My Blue Heaven from Summer House Stitchworks. It was the exclusive release for the Stitch Away retreat that was hosted by Keepsakes that I went to in January, but it is available to everybody through Keepsakes. So if you like this chart and you'd like a copy for yourself, you can contact Keepsakes and they will ship that out to you and you could stitch it with me. So like I said, I only worked a little bit on it, and here's where I'm at. So all I did when I was at the retreat is I finished doing the brick work, or the stone work, I should say, on the front of this house. So that's all I've added to it since you've seen it last. I am stitching it with all of the called for weeks die works, and it's just a stunning design. I love it so much. And I can never wait to get back to it. I just am enjoying it so much. There are some specialty stitches. The stitches in the roof of the house were satin stitches, so that was fun. And there's some other specialty stitches in there that I am looking forward to getting to as well. I'll put that back in my bag. Oh, I think I forgot to show you the bag that I was keeping my spring folk pattern in. I'm keeping mine in a bag that I got from Pepper Pot Shop, which happens to be my sister. And this was one of her recent bags. Very, very, very pretty. Very springy. I love it. Pepper Pot Shop. Sorry. And I'll link her shop below. And this is in a bag from Painted Leaf Co., which is my mom, using that Teresa Kogut fabric. So again, I will, any shops that I mention, I will put below. All right, also at the retreat, I worked on this one. This is an oldie but a goodie. I haven't worked on it in quite a while, but I pulled it out because my friend Allison, AllieCat13, started it at the retreat, and I was like, well, I'll bring mine and I'll stitch it with you. This is Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. I love this. I started it quite a while ago, but I haven't stitched on it in a while, so it was a great reason to get it out and work on it. And I didn't get a whole lot done. Here it is. That's what I've got. I'm stitching this. Ooh, what's my fabric? Hold on. And I don't think I mentioned the fabric for My Blue Heaven. That is 40 count Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch. I apologize if I'm kind of rushing through and not saying the fabrics. I think I did for the other two. Anyway, this one is being stitched on 40 count color and cotton in the color Mocha, which I think is very interesting because it looks purple to me. I don't imagine Mocha being purple, but that's the color. And I'm stitching it with all the called for fancy flosses and DMCs. And I had to do some frogging. So this little section here is the lowercase alphabet. I had to frog out 8 letters here because my spacing was off. So I've been doing that. But I did finish the rest of the alphabet. So like I said, I didn't make a whole lot of progress, but I do enjoy having this out again. So I'm going to keep this in my basket so that I can work on it some more because it's just so pretty. And especially because my friend Allison is working on it. If she's working on it, I want to work on it too. Do you guys like find that you do that? Like if your friend is stitching something that you have as a whip, you want to pull it out and stitch it too? Or like if your friend is starting something, you're like, I want to start that too. That happens to me a lot. It's fun to stitch with friends. Okay. Speaking of stitching with friends, that brings me to my next one. This next one is Sarah's Sewing Bag by Stacy Nash Designs. And I am stitching this with my friend Sarah. Her channel is Handmade by Sarah W. That's what she is on Instagram. And she and I decided, since we're both Sarahs, we have to stitch Sarah's sewing bag. And so we have both made a start on it. I started up here with this flower, and she's working on the house. And so you have to stitch the flower upside down because this is a sewing pouch. That part, that's like the flap that's going to be folded down. So when you fold it down in the back, it's going to be right side up. Here's actually the back of the piece. So I don't have much of a start, but here's what I've got so far. That's what I've got so far. So like I said, I'm stitching that flower, that upside down flower. I am stitching this on 40 count Salt Bush by Fox and Rabbit. And I believe I'm using all the called for. Yeah, I'm using all the called for. There's some Weeks Dye Works and there are some DMCs. So that's what I've got so far. Sarah's got a better start than I do, but I'll catch up. I'll catch up. It's not a race. But speaking of Sarah, I actually had some viewers come over to my channel from Sarah's channel. They said Sarah W sent me. So if you're here from Sarah W's channel, thank you for joining me. And if you're like, who is Sarah W? Like I said, her channel is called Handmade by Sarah W. She is my friend. She is a phenomenal stitcher. And I would definitely suggest you go check out her channel because you will not be disappointed. She stitches some really beautiful things. Okay, last but not least, I have my big one, my big girl here. If you've been around, you've seen this. Hopefully you love it. This is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. I started this a while ago, but I kind of worked on it and then I put it away for a while. And then back in December, my friend Allison and I, AllieCat13, decided let's pull out our biggest project and let's just work on it. So like, it was like when people were planning for their New Year's Eve 12 by 12, we're like, let's just put in 12 hours on this project. And so I chose Let Love Rain. And we've just kind of been going to town since then. In fact, she finished her big project. She stitched a Mirabilia, the Gypsy Queen. She has fully finished it. She has sent it off for framing. I'm so happy for her because it looks amazing. I'm still working on my big girl, but she's almost done. Let me kind of attach it to my board here. It's a big one. I am getting so close to a finish. Brace yourselves. Look at this. My board's not even big enough. Look at this. So let me give you the details. I'm stitching this on a 46 count Fox and Rabbit in the color Prehistoric. And I'm using all of the called for DMCs. I did sub out Weeks Dye Works Oscar for DMC 469. And then I switched out the blue. I think the blue was 926 and I switched it to 924 or vice versa. But those were the only colors I changed and I think it just looks amazing. Now, you can see I am almost done. The only thing I have left is to finish up some flowers and there's like a butterfly and a moth over here that need to be finished. So I'm so close to a finish. I've been working here in this area, and I think the last time you saw this, I think I was working in this like urn here, and I didn't have a lot of this done yet. So I've been really focusing on this. This is what I put the majority of my stitchy time into lately. So by the time you see this next time, I'm going to have a finish. I'm saying it here, folks. It's going to happen. Thank you to everybody who has been encouraging me because I've been telling you I'm getting this done by the end of March. It's happening. I've got, what, 6 days of March left? It's going to happen. It's going to get done, and I am going to be thrilled. This has been a labor of love for sure. I put the year of my wedding here, and yeah, this is going to be like an heirloom piece for me. I'm definitely going to have it professionally framed. I've never had anything professionally framed before, so I'm looking forward to doing that and just getting this on my wall so I can just stare at it. It's so beautiful. So those are my whips. That's what I've been stitching. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing that. I would love to hear what you're stitching and what you're working on. I do have some fun things coming up that I'm looking forward to starting. I've been doing really well with not having a whole lot of new starts this year. I used to start a lot of things. So I've been just trying to start less things and finish more things. And that's all just personal preference. Some of us love to start all the things. Some of us love to finish all the things. I'm just trying to kind of strike a little bit more of a balance in my stitchy life. So let's talk about haul. Let me move some stuff over here. Let's talk about haul. Let's see. Let's start with, well, I'll just start with whatever's on top here. So yesterday in the mail, I got my, I'm in the Roxy Floss Co. Floss of the Month Club, and I get the neutrals and the brights. So these are, let me just take them out of the package. Be careful if you're wearing earbuds. I'm going to be doing some crinkle here, sorry. I'll pull these out. These are the neutrals. Oop, and I just dropped some on the floor. Okay, these are the neutrals. Let me line them up here. I love them so much, that green. Very nice. This is like a really, you can't really see it, it looks black. But this is, it's called Black Forest. So it's like dark brown. There's some greens in it. You can see a little bit of the green there. Very pretty. So those are the neutrals, and these are the brights. Again, I'm gonna crinkle here. I just love Roxy Floss Co. I've collected lots of their floss, and I always like to sub it in my projects. I just think their floss is beautiful. So here are the brights. I like this pretty variegated pink here. Beautiful. So that's my Roxy Floss Co. haul. And their skeins of floss are nice. It's 8 yards instead of the typical like 5. So you get a nice thick skein of floss. I also got my Fabric of the Month Club from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And this month for March, it was Sham Rock and Roll. Check that out. So good. I just love their fabrics because like, like when I order fabrics and stuff, I often will order like neutrals that I can use for, lots of different projects, but I love having some vibrant colors in my stash. And so that's why I like the Fiberlicious Fabric of the Month Club. And I always get the 46 count. So 46 count linen. Beautiful. Love it. All right. Let's talk about, so when I went to my friend retreat, like I said, we stopped at the shop called Cross My Heart, and I bought 2 charts while I was there. I grabbed this. I think this is a market release. I could be wrong. This is called the Federal Sampler Sewing Bag by Stacy Nash. So I figured since I was stitching Sarah's sewing bag, I need this one too. I think this is very interesting. I'm very interested in the color change down here in the house. Like, most of it's gray, and then down here you've got like these blue sections. So I haven't opened it yet to see. I don't know if they're just using like a variegated floss and it turned that color toward the bottom, or if they call for a different floss at the bottom of the house. I don't know. It's very interesting, but I really like that. That's what the back of it looks like. And then I couldn't resist. This is another Stacy Nash. I couldn't resist little Miss Hazel. She's so cute. Little squirrel girl with her dress and her heart pillow. That's a market release. And then my friends, we had a freebie table, and so I got this off of our friend retreat freebie table. This is from Not Forgotten Farm. It's called Peas and Carrots. Cute little spring design there. All right, and then let's talk about market haul. Oh, I also got my punch needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. There were a lot of great charts in here. I won't show anything in case you haven't gotten your magazine yet. I know some people are still waiting on theirs, but this is definitely worth the money. There's some really, really cute stuff in here. Let's see. So market, got a few things. I got this, I got this hands-on design, Gather Around, and of course I have to get the perpetual paddles that go with it. So the paddles come from Chantel's 141 Design Company, and it goes with the Gather series. So again, this is another one of those, so this is Gather Around Spring, so it's a seasonal. So the boards come unfinished, you finish them how you want, and then you use magnets so that you can switch out the seasons. So I think that's super cute. I can't wait to stitch that and put that on the paddles. This isn't a market release per se, I don't think, but it is a new release. It just came out. This is from Emily Call. She just released this at a recent retreat called Beach Please. I was not at the retreat, but she did release it after the retreat. I actually got this from Chantel's shop as well. It's called Love and Learning. It says a home of love and learning. I just thought that was sweet, you know, the fact that my husband and I are teachers. I thought that was appropriate. And I saw Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher stitching this. She has a really great color conversion. She switched up some of the colors. I think she's stitching her house in blue. I could be wrong. I might be making that up, but her colors and her fabric choice are just beautiful. And so I'm looking forward to kind of choosing some colors and making this my own. I also got, speaking of Stacy Nash, I also got Miss Maggie May, Sweet Bunny Girl. I like her little turnip. I thought that was precious. I got this wedding sampler from Counting Puddles. It's called the Modern Botanical Wedding Sampler. And as soon as I saw this was the first market release that I was like, yes, I'm getting that. Because the flowers basically match my flowers in my wedding bouquets. I wanted a really bright color palette in my wedding bouquet, and the butterflies in here are very meaningful because when my husband and I got married, his cousin had passed away unexpectedly shortly before we became engaged. And so in my bouquet, the florist had placed a butterfly in the bouquet to represent his cousin who had passed away. And so this just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to stitch that. Again, if I decide I want to edit this video, I'll put a picture of my wedding bouquet in here. But if not, sorry. I just don't like to edit, so we'll see what I'm up for. I don't like to promise things and then not deliver, so you'll see if I do, it'll be there. But I just think this is gorgeous. I would like to have this fully stitched and displayed by the time we get to our 20th wedding anniversary. So I've got 3 years. in a couple months. So I've got plenty of time to get this stitched up, and I think that's just very sweet. What else have I got here? Hands-On Design just knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park this year. So Botanical Bee, gotta stitch it. Love it. This is actually stitched on 32 count juniper fabric from Fabrics by Stephanie. This was actually the same fabric that if you went to the Jingle Ball this year, Kathy had a design called All Is Bright that she released at the Jingle Ball that was stitched on this fabric. And so I had bought that fabric for that design. So I love that she's using it again. This color palette is fantastic. It is charted in, I want to say Weeks Dye Works. Yeah, Weeks Dye Works, but there's also a DMC conversion. So I am using the Weeks Dye Works that I have in stash and then using the DMC for those that are not in stash. But I cannot wait to start this. It is phenomenal. And then last but not least, I have this one. I saw this one last year. This was released at a retreat that I did not go to. I don't remember what retreat it was, but this is a Plum Street Samplers called American Welcome. And it's just beautiful. I love Plum Street Samplers, so I cannot wait to stitch this. I do have that Plum Street Samplers Live on Little as a whip. So I don't know if I want to wait till that's done to start this, or if I'll just have them both going. I don't know. This screams summer to me, so I'm not here yet. I'm not ready to start this yet, but I would like to start it this summer. All right, I think that's it. Whew, goodness gracious. Yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I hope that you will consider joining me in my stitch alongs that I'm hosting for the bunny parade and for the folk art, the spring folk design from Hands-On Design. And make sure you're tagging me and using the hashtags. I'll put all of that information below. And whatever you're stitching, I hope you're enjoying it. One thing that I want to talk about before I go, kind of a little public service announcement, if you will. And I kind of debated whether I wanted to say anything or not, but I'm going to. And this is not something that happens often, but it's happened to me a couple of times, and so I thought I would just put it out there. So I get a lot of comments on my videos, and the comments are wonderful. You guys are so supportive. You're so kind. You know, sometimes you have questions about things I've shown, and I'm happy to answer your questions. But there have been a couple of times where I've received comments that were not necessary, per se, about my appearance. I'm on here to share my stitching and to show you the things I'm stitching, to share my love of stitching. So I'm not on here to ask for beauty advice or to have comments made about my physical appearance. And a couple of times people have felt the need to comment on my makeup. I recognize that I wear more makeup than some, and I like my makeup. I'm the only person that needs to like my makeup. And so I would just ask that if you have a comment, make it about my stitching. None of us need to have comments made about our physical appearance. And like I said, 99.9% of the comments that I receive from you are so encouraging and so nice. But sadly, it's those that aren't nice that I remember the most. And I hate that. I don't like that. It makes me feel yucky. And it just makes me feel like, you know, that people are focusing on the wrong thing. Like I said, I'm here to share my stitching. So, you know, I feel like as a community, the Stitchy community is a really nice community. It's a community where we lift each other up. And especially like as women, I know there are men who Maybe there are men who watch me. If you're there, hi. But as women, we need to lift each other up. And saying something about someone's physical appearance is just not appropriate. If I was doing makeup tutorials or asking for beauty advice, that would be a different thing, but I'm not. I'm here to share my stitching. So I would just ask that if you have a comment about someone's appearance, just keep it to yourself. It's just not nice. I recognize that I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself on YouTube, but that doesn't mean I'm opening myself up to criticisms. And so it's just a reminder. Just a reminder, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. That's all. Because like I said, unfortunately, those are the comments that I remember word for word, and not necessarily the comments that are so nice and encouraging, which those are the ones I should remember and focus on. So that's something I need to work on for myself as well. But just a public service announcement. Commenting on someone's appearance is not appropriate. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope that you're having a wonderful spring, and that you're stitching all the things that you enjoy stitching. Please leave me a comment below. Tell me what you're stitching. And until next time, have a great week. Bye, guys.